and we thank you for your trust as we get to work on the education process for your children. Also, thank you for all the miles driving to and from home and away events. Some of you drive farther for a home event than an away event sometimes, and I hope that the student athletes don't lose sight of that sacrifice, not just in the gas tank, but in your daily schedules and things like that. So thank you for supporting your children in all their activities, academic, fine arts, etc., that we get to provide for them here at Great Plains Lutheran High School. I'd also like to thank our office ladies, Mrs. Arndt, Mrs. Miller, who work so hard to make sure everything runs smoothly. I'm not sure if they're here today yet, but thank you so much for putting together programs, reminding the athletic director to do his job every once in a while. All that fun stuff is very much appreciated, so thank you, ladies. I also want to thank our faculty members who, especially in the realm of our home events, make hosting things exceptionally smooth. I go to other places and things aren't always on the same page with different workers, people doing different tasks throughout the process of the games, perhaps are less experienced. I never have to worry about things here. I know that people are going to do the things that they need to do, from the boosters working the concession stand to the people running the scoring clock and everything in between. It's just a very, very big privilege to have people who know what to do and to run a very top-rate operation that makes Great Plains Lutheran High School look like the high school that we want it to be, which is truly a top-rate school. So thank you to them as well. This evening you're going to hear from several different coaches. My thanks to all of them. They give up their time, they give up their free schedules, especially in a season of winter athletics, for example, where the hours are long, the travel is difficult. Thank you to my coaches. Thank you to my coaches' families who give up of their time to be with mom or dad, with their spouse. So thank you very much for them as well. And then finally, my last thank you to start off is to the individuals sitting here to the north of the gym. To all the athletes, thank you. Thank you for using your God-given talents to the best that you are able to. It doesn't mean we always win. It doesn't mean we always lose. But we try our hardest. Hard work, right, gentlemen? It's not a slogan, it's a lifestyle, right? Thank you to everybody who put in all the hard work to make athletics and fine arts a great success this winter. I would like to briefly describe the types of awards that are going to be presented this evening, and then we'll begin with the rest of the program. We have several trophies up here in front. The trophies are given out to individuals who have been recognized for two different awards. The MVP, or something of that variety, which is given to the individual that has been selected as the most important person to the success of the program or to the team. And then the second award for trophies is the Panther Award. And if you have been to our ceremonies before, you know what that's about. It's about the person, it's given to the person who most embodies what being a student athlete is all about here at Great Plains. It's not just who scores the most or who is the best defender or who can give the best performance on stage. It's the one who is the best teammate. It's the one who puts their student responsibilities ahead of their athletic responsibilities to make sure that they're eligible for their team. It's the one who will go to an underclassman and encourage them when they're struggling. It's the one that, if we had to tell a incoming prospective grade schooler, that's the person we want you to be. That's the Panther Award. Other awards that you'll be hearing about tonight are letters. Letters are given to varsity participants who have reached a threshold, and for basketball it's quite simple, it's quarters played. So you'll hear about that. When a student receives a letter, they will receive a pin for their letter jacket or for their cloth letter, which correlates to the activity that they participated in. So if an individual letters in basketball, they will receive a basketball for tonight. Others will receive participation awards, which is a certificate saying that they were part of the team, but they did not meet the criteria for lettering just yet. Usually that's given to younger athletes as they strive to letter in the future. I feel like there's one more, but it's escaping me right now, so we're going to begin. Our first group this evening is possibly the loudest group, even though their numbers are small. As a basketball coach, it's fun when home court is rocking. It's fun to have the student section cheering along. It's fun to have the parents involved. We play better here because, one, it's our home court. There's a little bit more familiarity with our surroundings. But home court is a big advantage, and a big part of that is the cheerleading squad. So to tell you more about it, their coach, Susie Steinmetz.
Well, I had a great group of girls this year. They were very cooperative, they worked well together, and they all helped each other get better. They were loud, they were willing to try things, and they were also willing to have extra practices. In fact, they even asked if they could have some extra practices so that they could work on a cheer or work on the dance routine. So if I could have my cheerleaders and our Panther come up, please. They're so quiet right now. First of all, I would like to tell you about our Panther, Lydia Schrader. She was a Panther mascot for the second year. I love her sense of humor, and I love her enthusiasm and her liveliness. She came up with some great ideas to help our squad be better than it was. She was such an important member of our team, and yet her contributions were often overlooked. So I would like you to please give her a warm hand, our unsung hero, Lydia the Panther. And Lydia, here's your certificate of participation. Thank you. Next, we have Michelle Goins. Michelle has been a cheerleader for 4 years. As you all know, she has a lot of energy and a voice that can project throughout the whole gym. She's bubbly, she's enthusiastic, and she's a perfectionist, usually. I hope next year she starts a cheerleading squad at MLC. I know we're going to miss her here. So receiving a letter is Michelle Goins. Next, we have Alexis Hansen. This is Lexi's 3rd year, and although sometimes she was plagued with some injuries and lack of sleep or lack of using an alarm clock, she kept plugging away. She was constantly looking for, finding, and then teaching new cheers to the rest of the squad. She's cheerful yet intense, and I am looking forward to having her stepping into a leadership role again next year. So, also receiving a letter is Lexi Hansen. Vanessa has been a cheerleader for 2 years. She was always willing to try something new, and although she sometimes struggled with timing, through hard work, she eventually got it. Her flexibility continues to amaze me and everybody else, and her gymnastic ability added a great element to our squad. Also receiving a letter is Vanessa Steinmetz. Karina was new this year. She struggled at times, but once she got going, look out. There were times when she was sure she couldn't do a stunt or a move, but when she tried, she found out that, she could not only do it, but she did it very well. I am so glad that she persevered and stuck with us the whole season. When she yells, I think her voice can rival Michelle's. So, receiving a letter is Karina Anderson. Chloe was also new this year. She worked very hard during practice, every practice, and she kept the rest of the squad and me on task. Sometimes we got off a little bit. It was fun watching her improve throughout the season. She has a lot of potential, and I hope she continues cheerleading next year. So receiving a letter is Chloe Kuhlman. Whoops, upside down. All right, this year's Panther Award goes to a cheerleader who, although she didn't have a lot of experience, she still inspired me. Through hard work, she got better and better as the season progressed. She was punctual, she worked hard at every practice and game, and she was always willing to help pick up or put equipment away. I didn't have to worry about things like pom-poms because she just took care of what had to be done. This year's Panther Award in cheerleading goes to Chloe Kuhlman. And that's all I have. I would just like to invite anyone who has a loud voice or maybe wants to have a loud voice to please come up for cheerleading next year. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
We're going to give you something later because it's so big. Don't put it
All right. 2 items of business to clean up, and then we'll move forward. A couple have asked, where's the food? The food's coming. Carla's making it, but with the earlier start time, we're going to do this first, and then once the awards are done, we'll go and enjoy our supper. And Carla did give me a food time, so we got to stay on it. The second thing was there was one other type of award that I failed to mention, and it slipped my mind, but the other award is right beside me here. Several students will receive a plaqued certificate, which is one tier below the trophies. Those would be for certain awards like Most Improved, Defensive MVP, et cetera, depending on the activity. So you'll see those as well. The next group that we are going to recognize is the girls basketball team. So girls basketball players, please come up here and join me in this fashion, please. Directions. We're going to start by the door with the managers, and then we're going to make our way towards as far as we have to go with the JV players, then the mix of JV and varsity, and then the varsity only. Got it? All right, go. As they're getting arranged behind me, I would like to start off with a couple special basketball thank yous. This year I had 2 exceptional coaches helping me out this year. First off, the JV, Cheryl Zek, thank you so very much for being my soundboard at times, for being my second pair of eyes. For the last 2 years, Cheryl and I have been working together with basically this set of girls. We could not be who we are without you, and making sure when I'm on one side of the gym with the varsity, I know the others are learning basketball. I know they're learning the things that we want to do, and that's such a comfort. She does so many things for our girls outside of just being the coach. She's also the team mom. She takes care of things that I can't and don't want to take care of. So thank you so very much for being you. We wouldn't be able to be who we are without you. I also had another assistant coach this year, Mike Cluck. There you are, right in the middle. Mike Cluck joined us this year. Both of his remaining daughters in high school are on the team, and so he was an assistant for varsity only, which was a great help for me in my rookie season last year. It was Cheryl and I, and it worked. However, as we prepared for the playoffs, and we didn't have to worry about the JV, and we were able to use both coaches for varsity. It was such a luxury to have 4 eyes watching instead of 2. And so this year I had that luxury all year with Coach Cluck joining us, and almost every night he was able to be here for a portion of our practice and help me, because I could help watch one section of the thing, of a play, for example. He would maybe take defense, I'd take offense, or vice versa, and it was super nice to have him available, especially then, and also for game situations, because as much as I like to see everything, it's just not possible. So thank you, Mike, for helping out this year. Appreciate it very much. And my last thank you for right now goes to my wife. That's fun to say. I haven't been able to say that before. Thank you for taking your time and watching the girls play. Thank you for being willing to not see me. And we're still okay. We made it through one season, and so hopefully we'll be able to keep doing that. Thank you, honey. All right, I would like to introduce the ladies behind me. and we'll see if they followed orders or not. So beginning over to my left, your right, we'll begin with our managers. This year we had one returning manager and two new managers. Our returning manager from last year was Hannah Kratz, and our two new managers, Brooke Fry and Betsy Willison. Thank you, ladies. These girls did so much work, taking stats during games, running clocks during practice time, doing all the laundry. I mean, just incredible the amount of time that they spent. We had a very lopsided schedule this year where we played a bunch of home games, then we played a whole lot of road games in a very short schedule. We'd get back from a road game at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I said, oh, by the way, ladies, we need the Blues again tomorrow, so they gotta get washed. And they did it. Between staying up late and using school time, study halls, etc., everything was ready. So thank you, you three, for all your hard work. It's awesome. I'd like to introduce the JV players first. So we'll begin with freshmen. Jocelyn Gosh, Miranda Bisick, Deanna Christensen, Brooklyn York, Sarah Werner, Caitlin Bendix, and Lexi Charlemagne. Those are our freshmen on JV. Then sophomores, Krista Kirkmeyer, Icha Andringa, Nicole Lentz, Katie Johnson, and Rachel Ronnie. These individuals made up our JV-only squad, and they were also joined by two other sophomores, Brianna Peterson and Kendra Schlecht. That is our JV squad. Real briefly, a couple of thoughts with this group of ladies. JV is such a fickle thing, especially freshman year. We have so many different students coming from different backgrounds, different states, and it's interesting throughout the course of the winter to see how they start to develop as a team. At the beginning of the year, I got on them a little bit because we weren't a team, right? Remember that night in the locker room? That wasn't so much fun, was it? By the end of the year, I had no doubts. And it just comes with time. It just comes with getting more and more reps with each other. This is a large group of individuals here. Sometimes we had 15 different people suited up for JV games. What a challenge, right, Cheryl? Especially when you only get 6 minutes a quarter to get everybody on the court and get meaningful playing time. One of the things I was most pleased about with our scheduling this year was that we were actually able to schedule 4 C-level matchups with opponents around the area. It's difficult to find opponents that have enough girls in their program to play C-level games. And that was a big challenge. I would have played 20 if I could, but we just couldn't find opponents. Those of you that were able to come, especially when we had a doubleheader at St. Martin's, that was such a great day for the kids just to learn and get more playing time experience because that's so vital. So we're very thankful for that opportunity. I'm thankful for the numbers that we can even think about doing a C team. So thank you to everybody for playing basketball. I'm going to also right now announce the varsity players, and several of these individuals get a goofy award. We certainly have the ones that are going to be presented at the end, but for girls basketball, we also have funny awards. For example, the first one look here is Miss Handles, for the one who dribbles the best. That's how the kids call dribbling these days, handles. Okay, so you'll hear some of those. I'm going to say if you were voted as a winner for an award, you're going to hear about it right away for some of these goofy ones. So we're going to begin with sophomores on varsity. Kristen Cluck, who was awarded Miss Handles. By the way, this is a combination of player and coach vote for all the awards. Continuing with the sophomores, Erica Gosh, who was awarded Miss Vice Grip for the best triple threat. On to the juniors, Kristen Jensted. Dramatic pause. On to the seniors, Katie Laney, who was awarded the Nothing But Net Award. Pretty self-explanatory. Kendra Cluck, she received 2 Miss Nat, spelled G-N-A-T, for the most annoying on-ball defender, and Miss Black and Blue. It's also self-explanatory. Sydney Reinhardt was awarded Miss Glass for the best rebounder. Sydney Peterson was also given an award for Miss Box Out. Reagan Zeck, Shayla Maceberg, this list is extensive, Miss Florburn, Miss Future Coach, and Miss Spin Cycle for the best post moves. That's our varsity squad. A few things that I want to specifically mention as I recall. This is harder now that it's been over a month since we got knocked out of the playoffs to try to recall all the things that had happened over the course of the winter. But you look at this group, and for those of you that have been part of this program, you may recall that this was a lot of the varsity team last year. It was incredible the amount of turnaround we had, or the lack of turnaround. We had so many girls coming back. When we started practice, it was great. You know, last year being my first year, I would say the name of a drill, and they'd all look at me like, huh? We don't know how to do that. And so I'd have to explain everything. And now this year it was, hey, fast break circuit, let's get out there. And then they were there. It's great. They knew a lot of the things that we wanted to do on varsity already, and so we were able to add to it and make things more complex. Just awesome. You heard the long list of seniors. We have 6 seniors up here. We'll talk more about them in a matter of minutes. But the one thing that stuck out with me the entire year was I had fabulous leadership in the locker room. That's not something you can always say about 16, 17, 18-year-old ladies. But between these seniors and the underclassmen who listened and followed their steps, to my knowledge, there wasn't a whole lot of drama. There wasn't a lot of issues. We were the essence of a team in every regard. Raise your hand if you led our team in scoring in a game this year. They don't even know. They should all be raising their hands pretty much because we were that balanced. It was incredible. And that echoed into our locker room in the way that they handled themselves. We only had 2 official captains this year, but every game there was a third, because I had the other 4 seniors rotate as being the third captain. And it wasn't to throw them a bone just to make them happy. It was because they all had different individual traits that were captain worthy. And I felt that was an important thing for our leadership. A new thing this year, and this will make the girls happy, it did make the girls happy, is that we did zone. My entire coaching career, I've never even tried to do zone because there are a lot of things that zones do that I don't really personally enjoy about playing defense, but these girls love playing zone. And they're really good at it. They got better throughout the year. It got to the point where I didn't even consider switching between man and zone because we did our zone so well. Our defense has always been a point of emphasis, but this year I have a few things that I would like to share with you to illustrate how far these girls went from being sophomores and juniors last year to now being seniors and juniors. This year, we collected 60 more steals than the previous year. That's 3 a game. That's a big deal. Defense is always a premium here, partly because we don't score enough, which is my one regret this year. We just didn't light up the scoreboard as much as I wanted to. But if that's not going to be the case, you need to hold other teams down. We held our opponents throughout the year 130 less points than last year. And offensively, our biggest thing, what's the one thing we always stress, was taking care of the basketball. Not all the shots are going to go all the time, but we always want to get a good shot. This year, we committed 70 less turnovers than last year, and it's basically the same girls. That's some things that I really will hang my hat on this year, and the girls should be proud of. A couple other things that stick out to me for those of you that watched. I could not believe how effective we were at our inbounds plays. It seemed like some of our best plays were to just throw it off the girl's leg out of bounds underneath her own basket so we could run our inbounds plays and get a layup or a wide open shot. We did not actually tell them to do that in a huddle, even if it looked like that's what we were doing. So all in all, we were much more competitive. The wins didn't come as much as these girls wanted to. I know starting the year, there's high hopes to have a lot better record than at the end of the year, and there's a lot of different reasons for that. Going back over the course of the season, there were 7 games out of 20 that we were either tied or right there within a possession or 2 going down the stretch, and we ended up losing all 7 of those games. So when your end of the season record is varied that much, that says a lot to it. But as the course of the season went on, we learned the details of how to win games, and the wins came in the end of the season, which was a great thing to see for the girls. We did win 1 more game than last year. I know that was goal number 1, was win more games than last year, so we got that accomplished, and I'm proud of them for that. As I talk about the end of an era for 6 girls here. A lot of different memories come to my mind. I owe these girls a great debt of gratitude. 2 years ago, roughly, I walked onto the gym with 20 terrified ladies. Terrified of what's going to happen, how hard is practice going to be, and they stuck with me. I asked them to do things, play different positions, try different things that they'd never done before. And it wasn't always pretty at first, but they kept on working at it, and they kept on improving, and they bought in. By the time we got to the end of this season, especially my seniors, they were finishing my sentences in the locker room. They knew exactly what I needed to tell them. For example, what are 2 things we have to do every night? Box out, play defense. Respect all, fear none. They know it. They know what we're trying to tell them. And that's super exciting for me as a coach. So all the memories of ankles getting injured, shoulders popping out, fingernails ripping off. We have a new policy next year. Thank you, Reagan Zek. Lots of ups and downs throughout the last 2 years with these girls, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. One highlight this year was on this court, we had a very awesome offensive night. All 11 varsity girls scored. The last one scored right before the final buzzer. And the whole bench knew we needed one more girl to score. And so we inbounded the ball. The ball went to a senior who scored plenty of points in her career, was wide open. There was nobody within her in the basket. She could have walked in for a layup, but she didn't. She waited. And if you girls go back on huddle, turn the sound on. The entire bench, Bree. She's wide open underneath the hoop, and she got a basket. And the whole bench, it sounded like we won state. They're all up on their feet, so excited. And that's the epitome of what was going on this year for the girls' basketball team. And so, I would like to first of all here now announce our letter winners. All of your certificates and pins for all you ladies are in my classroom on my desks. So you can go get them after our awards banquet. So, individuals receiving basketball letters. Receiving her first letter, Kristen Cluck. Receiving her second basketball letter, sophomore Erica Gosh. Also receiving her second letter, junior Kristen Jensted. Now to the seniors, receiving her second basketball letter, Katie Laney. Receiving her third basketball letter, Kendra Cluck. Receiving her second, Sydney Reinhardt. Also receiving her second, Sydney Peterson. Receiving her third basketball letter, Reagan Zek. And receiving her fourth in 4 years, Shayla Mesaberg. I had a little extra time to do homework with these 2 weeks. One of my goals as athletic director is to compile all the statistics of all of our sports for basically the last 20 years, and I've been doing a pretty good job of finding all the girls' basketball records. However, I will take 10 seconds to have a commercial. If you were a basketball player from the teams for the 2007, 2008, or 2008, 2009 seasons, I don't have any stats for those years. So if you happen to have something in a keepsake, I would love to get a look at it and make a copy so we can have it on our permanent records. That being said, all of the following standings are with an asterisk because I don't have those 2 seasons. Several of our seniors, as you heard, have lettered many, many years, and all the time on the court, they've amassed some impressive statistics. Many of these seniors have cracked the top 10 program in program history. And so I'd like to share with you some of the accomplishments of these seniors. I will list off all the accomplishments for an athlete, and then I'll let you know, then we'll clap one time for them. Thank you. We're going to start with Katie Laney. Over the course of her career, Katie Laney made 33 three-point shots. That ranks 4th all-time in GPL Lady basketball. 18 of those 33 were made this year, which is also good enough for being tied for 4th for the most successful season on three-point shots. So congratulations, Katie. Next senior, Kendra Cluck. Over the course of her time, Kendra amassed 335 points for her career, which puts her 10th all-time. She recorded 38 career blocks, which is 5th all-time. 20 of those came in last year's season, which was the 10th best season for that statistic. She made 30 three-pointers throughout her career, which puts her 5th all-time. 16 of them came last year, which puts her in 10th place for the best season ever. Her free throw shooting percentage for the entire career was 56% with some decimals in there, which puts her 8th all time. Congratulations for an outstanding career, Kendra Cluck. Reagan Zeck. Over the course of her years, Reagan Zeck made 55 three-point shots. That is 1st all time. In order to do that, you have to have some solid seasons. And so she made 19 her sophomore and junior years, which puts her tied for 2nd all time, and 17 this year, which is good enough for tied for 6th. She also collected 223 rebounds, which puts her in 10th place for career. She recorded 50 assists this year, which is 5th best, 111 career assists, which is also good enough for 5th place. And she also recorded 26 career blocks, which is good enough for 6th all time. Fabulous career, Reagan Zeck. Shayla Mesaberg. Over the course of her 4 years on varsity, Shayla recorded 402 points. That's good enough for 7th all time. She recorded 334 career rebounds, which puts her in 6th all time. She's 10th in school history in all-time blocks. She shot from the free throw percent 56%, which puts her in 7th. And she shot, say that 5 times fast, she shot 64% from the line last year, which is 7th best in school history. Congratulations, Shayla. And now for our awards. We have a few bonus awards here. The first is for our newcomer of the year. Sometimes it's the rookie of the year, but we included it to newcomer because we had some transfer athletes that weren't freshmen. This year's newcomer of the year worked hard all year and really developed a skill set that I'm excited for in the future. Our winner of the newcomer award is Lexi Charlemagne. Next award is the most improved. This is a hard award to give out. What is most improved? Is it most improved from last year? Is it most improved from the beginning of the year? Many girls would qualify for this. But the one who received the award, I agree with the girls. This was quite an interesting improvement from last year to this year. Our most improved award goes to Erica Gosh. Our last special award is one that I cherish a lot, the defense. I love defense. I love when players play hard defense, and this girl played hard defense. She was the anchor of our zone. She wasn't the tallest. I'm giving it away, and that's okay. Nobody could push her around, though. She was the reason why our zone was successful, especially down low. She always was fighting against girls that were bigger than her, but she is definitely our Defensive Player of the Year, Shayla Mesaberg. Because we're late in the awards, I can also announce one more. Every year, our conference coaches get together and make an all-conference team. We had one representative this year, selected by the conference coaches as one of the top players in the conference, making all-conference team, Shayla Mesaberg. To wrap things up, I just want to take one more opportunity to thank the seniors. It's been a fabulous 2 years, girls. You're outstanding ladies, pretty good basketball players, and I will cherish our time that we got to spend together. What an outstanding class. You each have individual talents and quirks that make you who you are, and it's been fun. I'm sorry we didn't get as many wins as we possibly wanted to, but I can speak for these 6 saying they worked super hard for what they received. Congratulations on an outstanding career. We will miss you deeply. Moving forward, my dramatic pause earlier indicated that I have one junior standing in front of you that received a letter. With so many girls graduating, it presents a tremendous opportunity for everybody starting towards this side of the gym behind me to take over the opportunities that are being vacated. Shots, rebounds, all that opportunity, time on the floor. Our opponents are working hard, ladies. I shared with you that one school in particular worked 3 hours a day, every day this summer to get better. And we've talked already in private about what I'm asking them to do, but girls, if we want to win in the winter, we need to win this summer. And you guys know that. We've talked about it, and I know you want it. Next year, our roster will be very young. Lots of sophomores, lots of juniors, a few seniors. Coaches will look at our roster and say, they're young. It's either going to see they're young and they need to get better, or, girls, young and scary, right? We want to be young and scary. But in order to do that, we got to put in the time. So I'm asking you guys to make that commitment this summer. The last thing, I'm taking the words straight out of my seniors' mouths here. And this is for everybody that's not ending their basketball career tonight. I like to get on my soapbox every once in a while and preach to the kids about working hard in the summer, but I couldn't say it any better than these 6 did, because they get it. Like I said, they take words right out of my mouth now. I'm summarizing some of the things that they said, but their advice to everybody that's coming back next year. The time goes faster than you think. We reminisced at 2 years ago. It doesn't seem that long ago when we had our first practice, and now these girls are ending their careers. So the time goes faster than you think. Push yourself every day, whether it's practice, open gyms, weight rooms, summer camps, or the games themselves. Always push yourself to be the best that you can be. Do not wait for your senior year to be good. Don't ever give up. Don't stop competing. Whether you're up big, down big, or tied, never stop competing. And value your friendship. We are a family, and you never forget this group of girls, ever. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for my athletes. Thank you. My apologies, I skipped that. Whew. You girls can sit down. You've been standing for a long time, and some of them have heels on. This year's girls basketball MVP was a leader, and that doesn't narrow it down at all, as I mentioned before. This player embodied what it means to be a Panther. This person was always fighting for the team, regardless of the score, regardless of the situation, until the very last moment when she was taken out of her senior game in the playoffs. That narrows it down a little bit. I'm very proud of the work that this individual as well as everybody put in, but as voted on by the team, our MVP for this season is Kendra Cluck. And lastly, the Panther Award. If my memory serves me right, we voted over a month ago, but I do believe 10 or 11 girls received at least one vote from a teammate saying that's the person that should be a Panther Award, and that's awesome. This lady, she always held herself at the utmost respect. She treated her teammates that way. She was always encouraging them in practice. She was always making them better. And sometimes that was, hey, you're better than this, let's go. And that was a big thing for some, especially the younger kids. Very proud, again, of this individual's work ethic and all the stuff that they put into their season and to their career. Our Panther Award this season goes to Reagan Zeck. Did I skip anything else? Our next group is the one-act play. This group was quite entertaining to watch. The things that they can do in a very short amount of time is always interesting, and to tell you about it is their director, Mr. Martins.
Whoa, about knocked her down. Okay, I would like the one-act cast and crew to come up here and line up in the order that is on my sheet. So you can figure that out. And the crew can stand over here. We usually don't see them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And while they're coming up, I just have a few short comments. I just decided to bring them up. That way they have a little more stage time. There were 21 students in the cast, and it's a 45-minute production. So they didn't get a lot of, each individual person didn't necessarily get a ton of stage time. So this is their opportunity to get to do that now. I'm just going to read through the students in the order that they're on my sheet, and I'm assuming the order that they're standing, because that's what I'm just kidding. They can just wave, and I know that there were some that weren't able to be here. The students that were in the cast, and then I'll read the crew at the end. The cast, Tyler Gones, Rachel Hoff, Josh Weary, Nathan Sneeden, Michael Sell, Micah Shore, Christina Hagberg, Lydia Schrader, Ashley Peterson, Sean Pluger, Morgan Gosh, Josh Roberts, Grace Asplin, Sierra York, Sophie Abramson, Avery Quistad, Faith Peterson, Caleb Roberts, Kevin Renner, Bennett Zanto, Tucker Davis, and on the crew, Allie Legg, John Sell, Spencer Duman, Emma Davis, and Mason Vikander. Let's give them all a round of applause. There's a couple over there. This year our season was much shorter than we wanted it to be. We were again in Class A, but something different is we were in a new region. And our region is not steady, it's not stable like the athletic regions are more so. They just kind of move us around based on whoever's participating that year. And I think Groton did not participate last year, and they had one act this year, so they took our spot in our other region and pushed us down to Madison, which was fine, wonderful. We knew it was going to be a challenge. There were 4 shows this year in that region that previously were at state last year, and 3 of those 4 had received superiors at state, us and 2 others. And so we knew that it was going to be a challenge to get out of the region, worked extremely hard. Unfortunately, we just came up short. We were 3rd in our region, and only the top 2 go along. But nonetheless, I was very proud of the production. It was a comedy, multiple characters, multiple scene changes. They did a great job helping me get all the costumes together and trying to keep me sane and figure things out. out. Many of the students were playing 5 or 6 different characters. Some people were only one. But anyway, everyone brought a really strong character, and that's one thing that we always strive for. And at the region level, one thing that after watching the show, we did what we could do. We put on the show that we could do, and we were always dealing with different factors like the size of the stage, the setup of the stage, the amount of room. This show we needed a lot of space backstage because we had a lot of people that needed to change very quickly and enter from different sides. So all of those different things kind of play into the factors of, timing and different things like that we strive to perfect. I do want to say a huge thank you, of course, to everyone or every student, but there are 10 seniors in this group, and the show, the leadership, some of them, this is their first year, some of them have done it for multiple years. Sierra has been in the one-act play now for 4 years. And without their leadership and their dedication and their love for theater, we wouldn't be able to continue to put on such excellent productions, and I'm very proud of them. These are our seniors. They can maybe wave. I'm just reading through, so hopefully I don't forget anyone. Rachel Hoff, Micah Shore, Ashley Peterson, Grace Asplin, Sierra York, Faith Peterson, Tucker Davis, Allie Legg, John Sell, and Spencer Duman. Those were our seniors. So please join me in thanking them. Next year, we'll be returning to Class B. I'm guessing our region will be here in town. Just have to watch the calendar for more information about that. And we will be putting together a comedy again, because that is what we will be assigned. Is there anything I'm forgetting to tell them that they want to know?
Tucker's awesome.
Is there anything that you want to know that I'm forgetting to tell you? Okay, well, then I'll end with this. We have 2 awards that were given at the region level. These are awards that the judges identify these students as being superior performers. And one of those awards was given to Michael Sell. And the other was given to Rachel Hoff. And the final award this evening is the Panther Award. This is voted on. This is our first time as a one-act group giving this award. This was voted on by the students. Many students deserving. The crew never, they may think, hopefully they know that they're loved, and we actually do care about them. They may not get as much credit as they deserve. We need the lights on, so someone has to turn on the switch. And if they didn't do it, then we'd just be performing in the dark. And maybe that'd be okay some days too. But anyway, so a huge thank you to the crew. But the crew voted, and the votes were across the board. But there was one individual that did receive the most number of votes. And join me in congratulating Rachel Hoff. That's all that I have. If you have any questions about the one-act play, they would love to answer any questions that you have. It was called Laughing Stock. That could be a talking point. You may have a seat.
Our final group this evening is the boys basketball team. A couple years ago when I arrived here, I had the opportunity of coaching several of these men on the JV level. And so personally, it was exciting for me this year to see how far had they come from being freshmen and sophomores to now being juniors and seniors. Many of them had been playing varsity and been young, and let's just say they were always a little bit overmatched because just some of the teams are bigger and stronger than them. Well, a lot of these individuals fixed that by putting time in the weight room, and they saw great results this year. Their head coach, Sean McMillan, is ill today and is not able to attend. Hopefully he's able to watch online. So to talk about the boys' basketball season is assistant coach, Miss Brittany Gosen.
All right. Yeah, so about 3 hours ago, Coach Hugley called me and told me that Coach McMillan is sick, and then 5 minutes before the banquet, he handed me Coach McMillan's script. So I wrote a script, and Coach McMillan wrote one, so something that was going to take 15 to 20 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm just kidding. You lighten up. Sorry. All right. So a little bit of me, a little bit of Coach McMillan right here. Let's have you guys come on up. Let's do managers, JV, varsity. Good luck. I can see over it.
You sure?
All right, as coaches, I think I can speak for all three of us. We really enjoyed this year. The boys really put in work in the off season and it showed this year. The last few years, this program, we struggled to walk away with victories. The majority of this group have been through years where we put in a lot of effort, but we came up short. They understand that if you want to be successful, you need to develop your game in the off season. So it turns out to do well. You guys know there's really no off season. We're pleased to see that our Panther athletes, whether it's students who play basketball or volleyball, football, track, whatever your sport may be, you put in the extra time needed to be better. That can't happen without coaches or other faculty members being willing to take time in their day and put in the open gym in the morning and the afternoons, and also to open up the weight room. So for that, we're going to thank you. Next, a countless number of people to thank. We got athletic directors and volunteers, the Booster Club. One person we want to thank is Carla, our bus driver. Carla. She's coming. All right. That's good. All right. All right. All right. A personal thank you to Carla. As you see, lots of boys behind me. Yes, we have female managers, but sometimes Carla was the one female I got to talk to for like hours. So I'm very grateful for her, for sure. One thank you we do want to say is to you, the parents, for supporting your students throughout the winter season and the whole year. You recognize that Great Plains is a special place to send your students. And we like to say student athletes, of course. We say student first, athlete second, but really what we're doing here is we're developing young Christian adults first. So Christian student athlete is a really good way to put that, and we have you guys to thank for that. So thank you. Another group of people to thank is Coach Moffenbauer, right here, and then also to Coach McMillan. Coach McMillan puts in a ton of work in the gym, watching film, writing up plays, strategizing, talking and teaching me, and Coach Moffenbauer, and he does so much more than that. Coach Moffenbauer, okay, he puts in the time to recognize each player as individuals, staying late after practice and working on individual skills with them. One thing I do want to note is that Coach Moffenbauer has accepted a job offer in Roscoe, so this is his last season of coaching as a Great Plains basketball coach. For now, he may come back. Bribe him. Okay. So our basketball program appreciates the hard work you've put in to help us with these players. Thanks, Coach Moffenbauer. Yeah, he's watching. All right. So another group we want to thank are our managers, okay? So our varsity managers, the ones who showed up all the time, we had Allison and Mariah. Okay, I'm gonna say this verbatim from Coach McMillan, okay? So, thank you for everything you do. You two are the best student managers anyone could ask for. These two make me, Coach McMillan, look very organized. I never have to worry about anything with you two. Not only that, but you two over the years have gotten to know me very well. For example, It's weird to say it as my wife. Okay, so Coach McMillan's wife, Val, came to practice to pick up his sons because not only do these two organize everything for basketball, but they also babysit Coach's boys when he needs them to. His wife came to practice, and we had just gotten our schedules printed for the year with the team picture on them, and they told her that she wouldn't receive the schedule unless they gave one to her because he would never give her a schedule. So they gave a schedule to his wife, so she actually knew when his practices were. So for that, he thanks you. All right, so let's take some time and introduce our players. So over on this side, we have Brian Knutson, JV players. So Chris Schlecht, Asher Lindemann, Riley Reisman, and then Joe Tischer. Those 5 were our 5 JV players. And what I want to say about these 5 is mainly the hard work they put in practice. You guys now know what a pick and roll is, right? Man-to-man defense, we know how to do it. Okay, I remember running Kansas, our offensive play, for what felt like weeks before we actually understood it. So thanks for your hard work, guys. We really appreciate it. All right, let's also introduce our varsity guys. So Ryan Mertz, Noah Zanto, Brandon Canas, Ryan Rem, Charlie Beck, all right, Nick Hansen, we got Aiden Holine, Jordan Jenstead, Tristan Schalman, Dalton Tucker, Skylar Christensen, Ethan Byers, Dylan Duvall, and I also failed to mention Joe Tischer was also on varsity for a game for us, so wonderful. All right, to the Panther basketball team who show up every day to wonder what they are going to be put through next. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to each other and to your program. To play basketball for this team is not easy, and it's not for everyone, but you were willing to handle our conditioning and our atmosphere, and you had fun doing it, we think. Coach McMillan put these kids through some tough practices. I should say all of us did, but we had to outwork the other teams to make ourselves competitive. We give up a lot of height every game, so we need to be able to get up and down the court and out-scrap our opponents. These boys do this every day with a smile on their face and handle everything that's thrown their way. Sorry, lots of scripts. So for you guys, just being you, thank you. You make coaching extremely enjoyable. You're a group of young, talented men who improved every game of the season. We had some thrilling games this year. Our game against Tri-State, where we needed some plays and they showed up all at once. A big steal turned into points, followed by another steal in the front court and a kick out to a big 3 in the corner. We also played up in Langford. Langford, we battled with some height and some speed. Okay, we did something that we don't usually do. We slowed the game down. We played zone defense. We managed to outscore Langford in the second half by 3 points. Langford's a very good team. Good job, guys. All right, Coach McMillan's favorite game of the season was against Lake Preston, and I can honestly say that's my favorite also. The Divers of Lake Preston are a team that over the last couple of years, we have had some close games with. Not only were they close in score, but the games have all been very physical. We had a decent lead midway through the fourth quarter, 11 points to be exact. We made the mistake of taking our foot off the pedal and starting to worry about taking time off the clock. Well, we weren't scoring anymore, and they were, and before we knew it, it was a 1-point game. With that 1-point game and with roughly 9 seconds left on the clock, their point guard splits a double screen and makes a layup. However, the layup is waved off because their coach called a timeout while his player looked in trouble during the double team. So 9 seconds left in the game, and we were playing in the quietest gym in America. Okay. Coach McMillan did something he's never done before. He turned to the crowd and he asked them to get loud. Okay. That gym went from being unable to talk or able to talk to someone across the court to being a gym where you couldn't yell to the person right next to you. They seem to be rattled by this, and we seem to be energized from it, and it's our defense that didn't let them get the shot off. Panthers win. What a fun game. It's been a fun season. So tonight we want to recognize our players for their hard work with some of our awards. All right, got it. Okay. Several players earned varsity letters this season. Right. This list includes Aiden Holeen. Did you? Jordan Jenstead. Ryan Remley. Nick Hansen. And Tristan Charlemagne. Okay. Brandon Canas. Noah Zanto. Dylan Duval. Ethan Byers. Skylar Christensen. And Dalton Tucker. Our varsity managers, Mariah Vikander and Allison Van Veen, also earned varsity letters. Okay. Right. So our additional awards being given out tonight, the coaches and players vote on these players who they believe have earned these rewards. The first award that we are giving out, though, is based statistically, which it's the Most Assists Award. A great shot is something special, but a great pass all too often goes unrecognized. The Most Assists Award goes to Jordan Jenstead. Our next award is the Defensive MVP Award. This player did not like playing defense on the court. He felt it was necessary to run into the bleachers very often. This award goes to Aiden Holeen. Our next award is the Most Improved Award, and I think Coach Hugley said it best. All your players improved greatly throughout the season, and how do you measure most improved? Is it from the beginning of his career, or is it just this season? This year, our players and coaches gave this award to Tristan Charlemagne. Right. The next award is the Team MVP Award. Okay. This award goes to Aiden Holeen. Our last award is the Panther Award. Again, just a player of great character. All these players are that. Okay? They're great guys, respectful, easy to work with, very coachable. This award goes to Jordan Jenstead. Right. Our conference also took time to recognize 2 of our players on the all-conference team. So if you'll join me in congratulations to both Tristan Charlemagne and Aiden Holeen for receiving their recognition. All right, so seniors, okay, just so you know, there's a coaching spot open for you guys. So you're welcome to come back. I don't know if I have the authority to do that, but I'm letting you know. Right. To all the rest of you, we hope to see you on the court next season. As Coach Moffenbauer said in his part of the speech, there is no off season. You guys know exactly what hard work is like and exactly what our expectations are when you hit the gym, right? Find a buddy, find a basketball, find a hoop, and let's work hard. Thanks, guys. All right. And a shout out to Coach McMillan watching our awards banquet.
Okay, let's go. We're good. We're good. We're happy.
I was asked to give a little commercial. It was referenced in the concert, but this week is a very busy week for our actors as they are preparing for and will be performing their spring production, which I'm not going to try to butcher it, but I believe it's Arsenic and Old Lace. Is that correct? Yes, I'm getting thumbs up. All right. Probably for many of your schedules, I'm not going to throw out the entire performance schedule. You can get those on our website, but perhaps the one for most people to be able to make would be the Saturday evening performance. That'll be right here, 7 o'clock, right there. You can see that some of the backdrop has already been put together. So Saturday, 7 o'clock, right here. Just a reminder to all the athletes to go and pick up your stuff. Girls basketball in my room. Boys basketball, all of your certificates still need to be signed since Coach was not able to be here today. So we'll get that done as soon as possible. Listen to school announcements. You know, you have these things called ears. They work so that you know when they're finished and you can pick them up. And then you'll receive your varsity pins at that time as well. Make sense? All right. I believe that concludes the awards section of our banquet. We will proceed with prayer and then we'll begin the meal. As soon as the prayer is done, though, I'm going to ask all athletes that received a trophy or plaque to assemble for a picture. And once the picture is completed, then you can get in line. Incentive. Let's join in prayer. Come, Lord Jesus, be our guest, and let these gifts to us be blessed. O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Amen. At this point, I will excuse the athletes to get in line. If you received an award, please get ready for the picture first. Try to get this out of your way if you need it. Yep. So when you're finished.